Yesterday, it was Microsoft's Satya Nadella taking the stand at the Elon Musk OpenAI trial. Today, it's slated to be Sam Altman's turn. Our Kate Rooney's outside federal court in Oakland, California, with the latest. Morning, Kate.
Hey, Carl, good morning. So we do expect to hear from OpenAI CEO on the stand later today here in Oakland. Sam Altman will get a chance to respond to weeks of what we've heard, really personal attacks on Sam Altman. Throughout this trial, his former colleagues, board members have testified under oath that Altman was untrustworthy. So lawyers for Musk keep bringing up Altman's firing in particular from OpenAI 3 years ago, what employees now sometimes call the blip. This reprisal, though, guys, of the board drama does come at a time when Altman is trying to win the trust of enterprises. He's trying to win the trust of Wall Street amid a potential IPO. And Musk is suing OpenAI and Altman on grounds that they betrayed the company's founding agreement and, quote, stole a charity, as Musk has put it. OpenAI's defense has highlighted that there was never really a signed contract. It was mostly emails, informal talks. Musk, they say, left because they wouldn't hand over the reins to this company, and then Musk himself entertained and at times supported this for-profit plan for OpenAI. Attorneys for OpenAI have really been grilling witnesses about Musk's memory of all these events, painted him as now just a disgruntled competitor who's suing to destabilize OpenAI while competing with his own firm, XAI. We may get some more details about the value of Sam Altman's personal stake. We did hear something similar from his colleague, Greg Brockman. The Journal reporting today, though, that congressional Republicans are now looking into Altman's potential self-dealing at OpenAI, as that company has been investing in startups that Altman also backs personally, and then any potential conflicts of interest also ahead of an IPO. If the jury, guys, and the judge here does side with Musk, the consequences are steep. Altman could lose his CEO job. Musk does explicitly ask for the removal of Altman for leadership. When you look at remedies, plus more than $130 billion in remedies, those would be returned to the nonprofit, according to Musk. And then there could also be the court-ordered unwinding of OpenAI's for-profit arm. Back over to you.
Yeah, when you put it like that, Kate, it sounds pretty serious. But
pretty serious, yeah.
Yet the judge has wide discretion here. Even if she should find that there is some guilt, it's not clear, to undertake what you just described would be tumultuous, to say the least. I think many would expect that even if they were to prevail Musk's side, they will not get anywhere near what they're asking for.
Yeah, David, we should say that is worst case scenario, what we just outlined. And the expectation here, first of all, it's an advisory jury. So the jury has a say in this and will come to a decision. The judge has her own discretion and could disagree. And if that ends up, even if half of that ends up happening, there's an appeals process. So the one thing it could do, there's the reputational damage that we talked about. Even if the merits of the case are its own thing, you've got these personal attacks on Sam Altman at a really precarious time for the company. I mean, we are talking about things that happened 3 years ago, but it's different when it's spilling out in the press versus his close colleagues testifying under oath. So it is a reminder of some of the governance issues that have plagued this company in the past. It calls into question, some of the current structure and his leadership. He's still the CEO. He is the figurehead. He's the face of OpenAI. And then you've also got that congressional investigation that we're hearing about today. So some of this is damaging, even though, they might not have to pay the $100 billion. He might not get removed. There's some incremental damage potentially to OpenAI, although it is a long shot from, legal experts that we talk to when we hear about what Musk wants versus what's likely in the outcome. I don't want to speculate too much, but we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, no, it is interesting to get the concurrent reporting about the AI horse race. Today, it's the Journal saying that Grok is the laggard. We can talk about that in a bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, after that deal they did with Anthropic last week, I don't think there was any doubt that they're not using all the capacity they thought they would in terms of compute. That was a fascinating deal, and perhaps we didn't focus on it enough.
Yeah. Kate, thanks. Kate Rooney in Oakland.